from the nation capital, Monrovia. Good afternoon. Welcome to King's Newsroom. King's Newsroom is a 45 minutes of news from Liberia, Africa, and the world at large. Today is Tuesday, December 23rd. The year remains 2025. Marvin by anchoring this presentation. First, we look at the major headlines. Nearly after 2 weeks of direct and cross examination, but both the prosecution and defense jury on Monday questioned the state's first witness, investigator Referrer Wilson, focusing closely on the quality, sources, and credibility of the evidence presented in the ongoing Capitol building fire trial. Front page Africa managing editor Rodin C. criticized the Unity Party led government for what he described as consistent attack on Front Page Africa and other media institutions over their reputation on national governance. National Port Authority Director Sekou Duple underscores the need for improved teacher training across the country, says it could help in transforming Liberia's educational sector. Away from home, Nigerian authorities says they have secured the release of the remaining 130 school children and teachers kidnapped from a Catholic boarding school in the country's central Niger state. Details of these developments, along with the news bulletin and voices of the news, make up our package. We take a very short break to be right back. Welcome back. This is how let to go over to uh, Kwame Brown for the bulletin of the news.
A visually impaired man residing in Blackneville is calling on humanitarians and well-meaning citizens to support him in expanding his small business. Speaking to our reporter at the intersection of Broad and Johnson Streets, Lawrence Kebler said that although he is visually impaired, he does not want to become a burden or an embarrassment to people he meets daily on the streets. Lawrence, who is currently a local airtime vendor, disclosed that he started his business in October with just 300 Liberian dollars. Today, he says he has been able to grow the business to nearly 10,000 Liberian dollars, which he uses to support the welfare of his 4-year-old child. According to him, the next goal is to improve the business by moving from selling airtime by hand to operating with a scratch card box, which would also allow him to include mobile money services if he receives assistance from goodwill citizens. Kebla, who believes that disability is not inability, encouraged other persons living with disability to encourage or engage in meaningful income generating activities in order to avoid what he described as daily mockery and embarrassment. After nearly 2 weeks of direct and cross examination by both the prosecution and the defense jurors on Monday questioned the state's first witness, investigator River Wilson, focusing closely on the quality, sources, and credibility of the evidence presented in the ongoing Capitol building fire trial. Following the conclusion of defense cross-examination, the court invited the jurors to pose questions to the witness
Many of the inquiries centered on whether audio recordings, video footage, and photographs constituted the primary evidence against the defendants. In response, Wilson testified that the prosecution's case also relied on voluntary statements, call logs, and other investigative materials. During cross-examination, however, defense counsel challenged the reliability of several purported voluntary statements, arguing that some were obtained through torture of or coercion and that others lacked the defense signatures. The defense asserted that such statements should not be considered credible or admissible. Jurors during the cross examination sought clarification on what evidence the state intended to rely on upon beyond electronic recording and images. Wilson reiterated the investigators' collected statements and court records in addition to audio and video materials. One juror asked whether Capitol security personnel on duty at the time of the incident were questioned and what investigators discovered. According to his testimony, some officers scheduled for duty were never notified for their deployment. Others failed to report to work. Some cited illness, and others admitted they did not report but denied any involvement in the alleged arson. Wilson explained that investigators collected photographs during the investigation, including images of the Capitol's exterior, the joint chambers after the incident, and photographs retrieved from the mobile phone of defense Thomas Edrich. The defense renewed strong objections to several documents submitted by the prosecution, challenging their authenticity and admissibility. The defense counsel highlighted the absence of original copies of letters dated December 24, 2024 and January 3, 2025, noting that only photocopies were presented to the court. Ahead of the festive season, telecommunication company Orange Liberia has donated food interims to residents of Electoral District 8 in Moserado County. The donation includes 248 half bags of 25-kilogram bags of rice, along with 150 gallons of cooking oil intended to support vulnerable citizens during the Christmas season. Presenting the interims, an agent of Orange Liberia urged local authorities in District 8 to ensure transparency in the distribution process so that the interims should reach community members fairly and directly. The donation was formally received by District 8 Representative Prince Toll, who commended Orange Liberia for what he described as a timely relief for the less fortunate during the holiday period. Representative Toll assured the company that the distribution process will be carried out transparently, ensuring that all communities within Moserado County District 8 benefit from the donation at the time of need. The governor of the borough of Town has delivered the state of affairs of the borough address outlining his administration achievements since his appointment by President Joseph Nyamabwakai. Speaking during a meeting with residents at the St. Paul Bridge community during the weekend, Governor Robert Tier disclosed that his administration has been able to seek scholarships from the Chinese and Indian embassies for young residents to study in those two countries. Mr. T.S. explained that he has also asked the management of the Monrovia Brewery Company to construct a high school in the borough because it has operated in the area for more than 50 years and there is nothing to show as its so-called corporate responsibility. The governor of the borough of Newtown added that his administration has also established a police force to resist the Liberian National Police and the Monrovia State Police on security operation in borough. The managing director of the National Port Authority has underscored the importance of teacher training in order to mold the minds of students in school throughout the country. Mr. Sekou Dukle said his administration at the NPA would work with institutions engaged in providing education, especially for young people, especially in area of its operation. Mr. Dukle, a section was obtained in a speech delivered on his behalf by Dawuda Bility, the Director of Governmental and International Affairs of the National Port Authority at the graduation ceremony of the Liberia Standard Teachers Training College held in the borough of Newtown on Monday. In remarks, the National Training Director of the Liberia Standard Teacher Training College, Reverend Andrew Fire, appealed to the Liberian government to begin existing teachers training institutions in the country. At the end of the program, about 55 students were awarded a diploma for successfully completing the requirement of the institution and those required by the National AI Commissions of Higher Education. The managing editor of Front Page Africa, Rodney C., has criticized the United Party-led government for what he described as consistent attacks on Front Page Africa and other media institutions over their reportage on national governance. Recently, Front Page Africa published its annual performance review of the Boakai Koon administration, assessing cabinet ministers and key governance setters for 2025 based on delivery, accountability, and national impact. The report also evaluated the performance of the president, vice president, and other critical sectors of government, presenting a picture of modest progress but highlighting persistent underperformance in several key areas. The report has sparked mixed reactions as some government officials and supporters of the ruling party have questioned the credibility of the newspaper, alleging that portions of the report, particularly those citing underperformance in critical setups, were influenced by pay for play considerations. Meanwhile, appearing on OK Even, CA described the ruling party's alleged actions as counterproductive to press freedom and threat to democratic principles. He accused certain government officials and supporters of the ruling party of displaying hostility toward the media, warning that such actions undermine the country's governance progress. The Front Page Africa managing editor Furop cautioned President Joseph Boakai to take seriously the concerns being raised by citizens and media institutions about his administration, warning that failure to do so could have serious political consequences. The National Muslim Students Association of Liberia has set three committees aimed at holding its General Assembly, reviewing its constitution, and holding elections for a new corps of officials. The association's president Amadou Dole disclosed that the committee for the General Assembly is headed by Abu Jabate, its chairman, Fatoumata Ba, co-chairperson, and Aliou Doli, secretary general. Addressing the press conference in Monrovia on Monday, Mr. Dole added that the Independent Election Committee comprised of Mustafa's chairman, Chairman Bindu Kamara, co-chairperson, and Hassan Kaba, Secretary General. Dole named the Constitution Review Committee to include Abdul Karan Sharif, Chairman, Esther Wia, co-chairperson, and Hausanatu Jallo, Secretary General. Melvin, that's it from my end.
Kwame Brown with the news bulletin. If you are just joining us, is a reminder that you are listening to a 45 minutes of news from the News and Public Affairs Department of Kings FM. These are stories that we are following this afternoon. After nearly 2 weeks of direct and cross examination by both the prosecution and defense, jury on Monday questioned the state's first witness, investigator Raphael Wilson, focusing closely on the quality, sources, and credibility of the evidence presented in the ongoing Capitol building fire trial. Front Page Africa managing editor Brenda C criticized the Unity Party-led government for what he described as consistent attack on Front Page Africa and other media institutions over their reportage on national governance. National Port Authority Managing Director Sekou Dukle underscores the needs for improved teacher training across the country, says it could help in transforming Liberia's educational sector. Away from home, Nigerian authorities says they have secured the release of the remaining 113, that's 30 school children and teachers kidnapped from a Catholic boarding school in the country's central Niger state, says. We take a very short break to be read by with voices of the newsmaker. Welcome back. For this first development, the managing editor of Front Page Africa, Ronan C, has criticized the Unity Party-led government for what he described as consistent attacks on Front Page Africa and other media institutions cover their reportage on national governance. Recently, Front Page Africa published its annual performance view of Boubacar Koun administration, assessing cabinet ministers and key governance sectors for 2025 based on delivery, accountability, and national impact. The report also indicates the performance of the president, vice president, and other critical sectors of government, presenting a picture of modest progress but highlighting persistent underperformance in several key areas. The report has sparked mixed reaction as some government officials and supporters of the ruling party have questioned the credibility of the newspaper, alleging that portion of the report, particularly those sitting on a performance in critical sectors, were influenced by pay-for-pay considerations. Meanwhile, appearing on OK FM Monday, Sia described the ruling party's alleged action as counterproductive to press freedom and a threat to democratic principle.
People are angry.
How are they?
They're behaving like opposition. They're fighting everybody.
I think Senator Snow said something similar to what you say.
They're fighting everybody.
Are you serious, Rodney?
And it's not, they fight you, they fight me. when we put the grades out last week,
one of them was saying some bad things about me recently. I heard, but
the text messages I got from people, the response that it generated. This is something we've been doing for the last decade plus. The very same people you see in government today were outspoken against previous government.
Exactly.
And this grading thing, people say, "Oh, why? How you came about this?" Don't think about it like a crack.
And Rodney, I'm not. Before you go further, the thing about it is that most of the time when the people in opposition, they use the front page Africa grading to say, "Hey, you see, the government is doing nothing. FPS can't do it. They all men get F."
The previous government, I think there's too much anger in the country right now, and they may think that they're helping the president, but they're falling prey to a recurring circle in Liberia's tragic past.
I didn't make it.
That is sycophancy, and President Boyka is falling to that sycophancy.
He is the managing editor of Front Page Africa Renaissance. The managing director of the National Port Authority has underscored the importance of teacher training in order to meet demands of students in schools throughout the country. Mr. Sekou Dukle said his administration at the NPA will work with institutions engaged in providing education, especially for young people, especially in areas of its operation. Mr. Dukle, a session was contained in a speech delivered on his behalf by Dawuda Beliti, the Director of Governmental and International Affairs of the National Port Authority, at the graduation ceremony of the Liberia's Standard Teacher Training College held in the borough of Nigutan on Monday.
It was rewarding to see Liberians, mostly women, graduating from a teacher school. We definitely need trained teachers in our various classes. The team I brought here was to make sure we encourage those in classes to understand the students, understand the environment the students live. It's difficult when people are waking up in the morning, don't even have food to eat. You have to go to school. It's tough. So teachers have to be patient, like I said, and listen to their students and understand the kind of students that they are dealing with. They're going in the classroom to teach. It's not just about teaching. It's about instilling that discipline, that confidence in the young people, the young leaders of tomorrow. So my address to the graduating class today will be based on the fact that if they can understand the teaching or the students that they are teaching, they will be role model for leaders tomorrow here in Liberia. I'm pretty sure this school actually prepared their students and they are ready. Teaching is not just a job, it's a calling. Some get in it for the money, but then you get in it and you realize, you know what? There are thousands of people that depend on you. Look at the president we have here today. Imagine the first person that taught him in school. The first person that taught him in 6th grade, in 12th grade, in grade level. So teachers have very, very serious impact on the lives of our young people and even our older people. The difficulties that they are facing when it comes to teacher pay, when it comes to school fees, they are struggling.
In a remark, the National Training Director of the Liberia Standard Teacher Training College, Reverend Andrew Fire, appealed to the Liberian government to begin assisting teacher training institutions in the country. At the end of the program, about 55 students were awarded diploma for successfully completing the requirement of the institution and those required by the National Commission on Higher Education.
The education sector of Liberia is still faced with huge challenge in her struggle for a better system. And one key area in the training of her present and incoming teachers and school administrators. If you take a keen look across our country, you will find out that there are facts around us of many untrained teachers and school administrators in our school environment across Liberia, which is seriously undermining the quality of education being offered. With this in mind, the Liberia Standard Teacher Training College is fully committed to buttressing national government teachers' qualification policy and to accelerate improvement to affordable and inclusive quality teacher education for all. Liberia Standard Teacher Training College is fully aware that most of our teachers, especially teachers in the private schools, are finding it very difficult for higher education due to low salary and high cost of living. This has placed many teachers in the low income bracket across our country. It is based upon this, the Liberia Standard Teacher Training College, in collaboration with Education Watch Network of Liberia Incorporated, launched the Advancing Teachers Education Project in collaboration with the Bureau of Teachers Education in 2015 in the borough of Newtown to train teachers in the low-income bracket across Liberia.
Now to this development ahead of the festive season, telecommunications company Orange Liberia has donated food items to residents of Electoral District 8, Moserado County. The donation includes 248 half bags of 25 kilogram bags of rice, along with 115 gallons of cooking oil, intended to support vulnerable citizens during the Christmas season. Presenting the item, an agent of Orange Liberia urged local authority in District 8 to ensure transparency and the distribution process so that the item reach community members fairly and directly. The donation was formally received by District 8 Representative Prince Toe, who appreciated Orange Liberia for what he described as a timely relief for the less fortunate during the holiday period.
Okay, Orange is not just here to make business, but we are here to give back to our people. When we say Orange, we mean Orange is here and we are home. And this is our district. So everything we do, we think about the people of Liberia, we think about the people of District 8. So today we want to celebrate the Christmas with the citizens, with the constituents of District 8 by giving back to Liberians in District 8 this donation. We're going to be giving 248 bags of rice and 150 gallons of oil. We want this to reach down to the people in District 8 so that they can have food to eat, so that they can be able to celebrate with their children. So when we say Orange, we want you to know that Orange is here and Orange is always ready to give back to Liberians. Thank you so much. We'll turn this thing over to the representative now, Honorable Prince Tolls, who will take delivery of them and hand it over to his district.
Thank you so much. Let me talk to the press. I want to say a big thank you. I say hello to everyone. I want to say a big thank you to Orange Liberia. This is year 2. This is the second distribution that given to our people since the office. We really appreciate it, madam. We say thank you. And the purpose of this item is to work people that you give our people. You can rest assured that the people of this will eat the ordinary people. Okay, so Mr. Polly, the chair from Capitol Hill, these things we never saw it before, but today we are seeing it in our district. It's a very open process. So you will take the rest of the leadership down to the district so we can present to our people. I say thank you to Orange Liberia for your support, all your support you've been giving us. We appreciate it. The land is there, right in the Jopatown market. As soon as you guys are ready, we'll take you there so we can start the process. Thank you. And God bless us. And Merry Christmas to everyone.
Merry Christmas. Orange says Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you. My name is Leoma Brown with us.
The governor of the borough of Nikutan has delivered the state of affairs of the borough address, outlining his administration achievements since his appointment by President Joseph Boaga. Speaking during a meeting with residents at the St. Paul Bridge community during the weekend, Governor Robert Tay disclosed that his administration has been able to seek scholarship from the Chinese and Indian embassy for young residents to study in those two countries. Mr. Tay explained that he has also asked the management of the Monrovia Bureau Company to construct high school in the borough because it has operated in the area for more than 50 years and there is nothing to show as its corporate responsibility. The governor of the borough of Nikutam added that his administration has also established a police forces to assist the Liberia National Police and the Monrovia City Mayor, that's Monrovia City Police, on security operation in borough.
And to manage these activities, we need people with vast experience, with the expertise who will help us. So since we take office last as the country up to now, we are sustaining because we have people who are doing the job. We also go around the various departments, sanitation department, every day, simple. You know, I borrow very objective. Because people putting damage everywhere. And I see that people sick every day. Go to hospital every day. Go, you get good and so die, you put it in front of somebody to go. You take good and throw that, put it in somebody, get somebody involved. They never record them. So we are doing this in the past. But many of us who are taking the time, they don't want to pay. When they go to them to do this one thing, hey, I don't want to pay. I don't want to pay taxes. We also created the legal department. Send them from information about the legal department, one office. So when they go to court, they all will make cases. Today I want to inform you, my dear questions. People are from the lady. We are wanting to send to office of the program. Don't steal, don't kill, don't rape. Any of the legal matter, let my office know they will pay for you free of charge. Then they pay money. You have the police, held by Mr. Nambe, he's the one who helped the department. You go on the street today, they say the police want to get up there, the national police want to go. We need security everywhere. So they have the security department. We also have a compliance department. Compliance department, we don't pay taxes. Well, if you didn't pay taxes, they go to reinforce to educate and tell them you have to pay. By the compliance department. Headed by Jonathan Zulu from Azatown. So the issue is not about crew, it's not about trust, it's not about party. The thing is, Liberian gets to do, but we're not partying. You cannot get a job. What been happening for the past year? It's wrong. I've got to let you know, I'm not a crew governor. I'm the borough governor. I'm the chair of the borough of Nikutam. So for all trust, the Pele, the Gio, the Mandingo, the GC, for everybody that reside here, I'm the governor for them.
The National Muslim Students Association of Liberia has set 3 committees aimed to holding its General Assembly, reviewing its constitution, and holding elections for a new corps of officers. The association's president, Ibrahim Dole, disclosed that the committee for the General Assembly is held by Abu Jabate as chairperson, Fatimata Ba, co-chairperson, and Aliu Dole, secretary general. Addressing a press conference in Monrovia on Monday, Mr. Dole added that the Independent Election Committee, comprised of Mustafa Sherman, chairperson, Bentu Kamara, co-chairperson, and Hassan Kaba, secretary general.
25. In accordance with the Constitution of the National Muslim Students Association of Liberia, the Executive Committee has officially constituted a committee responsible for preparation of the forthcoming General Assembly of the National Muslim Students Association of Liberia, the highest decision-making forum within the institution's constitution. The General Assembly is convened after every 2 years to provide a platform for members to review the programs and financial reports, deliberate on constitutional matters, and elect officers to serve on the executive committee. These appointments underscores NAMSA's ongoing commitment to democracy, transparency, and excellence in student leadership. The committees are the Constitution Review Committee. The mandate of this committee is to conduct a comprehensive review of the NAMSA Constitution, identify provisions requiring amendment or clarification, prepare a draft for submission, and guide deliberations during the General Assembly. The chairperson of this committee is Abdul Karim Sharif, co-chair is Esther J. Wia, and the Secretary General is Husainatu M. Jallo.
The visually impaired man residing in Bernardville is calling on humanitarians and well-meaning citizens to support him in expanding his small business. Speaking to a reporter yesterday at the intersection of Broad and Johnson Streets, Lawrence Kabila said that though he is visually impaired, he does not want to become a burden or an embarrassment to people that he meets daily on the street. Lawrence, who is currently a local airtime vendor, disclosed that he started his business in October with just $300 Liberian. Today, he has been able to grow the business to nearly 10,000 Liberian, which is used to support the welfare of his 4-year-old child. According to him, his next goal is to improve the business by improving from selling airtime by hand to operating with a scratch card box, which could also allow him to include mobile money service if he receives assistance from goodwill citizens.
Yeah, as I told you, some people that they have a lot of dirty Thomases.
Okay.
In which they will say, oh, the man I want to do it. I remember how he can know the button. How you know the button to press. If I call in the number, how you know. I can tell him, I said, don't give up. I can be as motivation to somebody else will have side to see.
Okay.
Because if a visual impaired person can sit on the side wall to say, I'm doing business, the great thing he can do, encourage him by supporting him, showing him video to do something better tomorrow. You're not coming for handout that, oh, help me to do this. Empower me so I can be able as you listen to the recording, they say come and promote. And the promotion is not about to give me free money.
Okay.
But if you buy from me, the profit I will be there, I will eat some, I keep some for the business to grow. If God touches you, you say, oh, I want for me to be a blessing to him, so I can give you $5 loyalty or $10 loyalty. That I can keep it aside from you. Maybe in the evening hour after I leave from here, I can see also. So my dream that I have to have it extended, so it can be extended.
So you talked about starting this business with about $300.
Yes.
Are you care to tell us little about the status right now? How is it growing?
No, it's actually we are getting it because I started with I bought a mega food, I put a chicken on orange. I started with orange because we started I don't have a movie food. But for now, what I have in my phone is about
Yeah. Please don't just expose our little thing that keeping there.
But I don't want to have it.
Okay.
But I have. Everything in life is not easy.
Okay.
There's now easy bridge to cross water. Before you cross the water, there is now easy bridge.
Away from home, Nigerian authorities says they have secured the release of the remaining 130 school children and teacher kidnapped from a Catholic Bolorin school in the country's central Niger state. Nigeria's federal government described the list release as a movement of triumph and relief after one of the country's worst mass kidnapping. More than 250 children and staff were abducted from St. Mary Catholic School in Paper on November 21. Earlier this month, about 100 of the children were released. The authority confirmed the rescue of the remaining 130 children and staff in a statement saying not a single pupil is left in captivity. Niger State Police Chief Aduman Emmanuel told the BBC that they have been examined by security forces and will be taken to the school. That's to their school tomorrow to reunite with their family. Well, on this note, this is how we like to come to the end of this afternoon presentation of the program King's Newsroom. Before we leave, these are stories that we've been following on this afternoon. After nearly 2 weeks of direct and cross examination by both the prosecution and the defending juries on Monday, questioned the state's first witness, investigator Raphael Wilson, focusing closely on the quality, sources, and credibility of the evidence presented in the ongoing Capitol building fire trial. Front page Africa managing editor Renessier criticized the Unity Party-led government for what he described as consistent attack on Front Page Africa and other institutions over their reportage on national governance. National Port Authority Managing Director Sekou Dougle underscores the needs for improved teachers training across the country, says it could help in transforming Liberia's educational sectors. Away from home, Nigerian authorities says they have secured the release of the remaining 130 school children and teachers kidnapped from a Catholic boarding school in the country central Niger State. Kwame Brown brought you the news bulletin. Cornelius Johnson sat in control and ably controlled the sound and system of the technical department. For more news and information on Kings FM, do join us this evening at 6 o'clock for another 45 minutes of news. I am Marvin Vai. Good afternoon.